Hey there, it's Derek here from Pacific Coast Auto in Japan. We're looking at this 1994 Mitsubishi Delica Starwagon. This one with 158,000 kilometers on the odometer. Overall condition is fair. It needs a few things here and there, as with most, nearly 30-year-old vehicles. Actually, as of this year, it will be a 30-year-old vehicle. Wow. 158,694 kilometers at the time of shooting this. We'll just switch the engine off for the rest of the report. Before I do that, though, I just want to mention there's some belt squeal from the alternator belt. Have a listen. So that needs to be tightened up, but probably better just to have it replaced. Of course, you can have it replaced here in Japan before the vehicle ships if you want. That said, it has been really busy at the mechanic shops recently. Used car prices went up all around the world, leading more used cars to be repaired. And recently, all the shops in the area have been slammed for the last couple of years. So there may be some delay in shipping the car if you were to get that replaced prior to shipping, but we can set that up if you want. Here's the auction inspection sheet. I'll quickly translate this for you so you can see all the information given to us from the seller and from the auction inspector. First off, this is a 1994 Mitsubishi Delica Starwagon turbo diesel. That's a 2.5-liter turbo diesel known to be very reliable, not very fast, but it's not a huge vehicle. I don't know the weight of these. I guess it'll say it in the title card, but I'm guessing somewhere around 1,750 to 1,800 kilograms. Okay, this is an auction grade 3 with an interior grade C and an exterior grade B. I would think this is more like these two are switched around. The interior is more like a B and the exterior is more like a C, mostly due to paint fade in a number of areas. The sales points here are timing belt replaced at 78,500 kilometers. I don't see this very often, but I think that the timing belt actually wasn't replaced. I think it was a dealer that was lying to us. I'll show you why. Let me just open the engine room. I usually don't open the engine room on the Delicas for these videos, so now you can see what it looks like. The engine is underneath you. It is a cab over design, so you sit really high up compared to other vehicles because you're right on top of the engine, which gives you a really cool feeling while you're driving. Now, these are brand new batteries. We had to have them replaced because the vehicle couldn't be transported properly, because oftentimes with a dual battery vehicle, if both of them are super dead, it can become very difficult to start even with a proper jump starter. Okay, now have a look at this. It says 2001 April 20th, 420, at 78,500 kilometers, the timing belt was replaced. That said, that writing looks too fresh to be, what? How many years ago is that from 2001? 22 years ago? 23 years ago? Yeah, I would say that someone just took a sticker and wrote on it. I check a lot of cars, thousands of cars I've checked now. It is very uncommon for me to have found a timing belt sticker that is fresh like that. It's not really something that happens an awful lot. Japan is a society with a lot of trust. It's not likely that most dealers are going to do something like that. It is possible, of course. Anything is possible. Here we have an example. I don't have proof that that's the case. I don't know for certain, but definitely when you receive the vehicle, have a look at the books, the vehicle books, and see if there's a history paper for a timing belt. And if you need us to translate any of those documents, we can check for you. In fact, even before the vehicle ships, we can have a quick look through if you request it. So let us know. The coolant looked okay. The radiator doesn't look that hot, but the coolant itself looked like it was recently replaced, and the oil was fine, albeit a little on the low side. If there's one complaint about these engines is they sometimes can leak a little bit of oil. Not a lot, but a little bit. And so maybe you need to refill the oil every once in a while. I don't think anything leaks down, so I don't think anything needs to be replaced. Oh, let's just move that seat back 1 second, please. Oh, and I gotta mention this too. They installed this weird little console box that is put on with straps, but the straps are all loose, so it just kind of moves around. Weird little modification. Anyway, back to the auction inspection sheet here. No other notes written by the seller, just that the timing belt was replaced, and I suspect it hasn't been. Here it says battery is dead. Exterior various scratches and dents. Interior dirty. Seat dirty and wear. Windshield rock chip. That's usually nothing to worry about. rock chips are less than 1 millimeter and don't go through the glass. So sometimes they can be hard to find. What else? Steering wheel grip has wear on it, has some fade over here, has some A2 here. Actually, I don't think they did a very good job of inspecting the exterior. This is from Arai Oyama, which is usually good, not super great. None of the auctions are really that great, to be honest. Most of them are good. But yeah, I would say that there is quite a bit more fade than they let on. They just had H2 there. I'll show you when we walk around and you can have a look. The body is actually pretty good scratch and dent wise, but there's fade and there's some sticker removal marks and some discoloration from age in some pieces. So let's take you for a tour around it. The Starwagon's awesome. It's 4-wheel drive. It has the lifted suspension from factory. You can get them in 2-wheel drive models, but they're very rare. But when you do see one, it's kind of interesting because the suspension is, I don't know, like 2 inches lower and the wheels are smaller. So it has a completely different look to it. I love the boxy look. I believe that there was a Transformer based on the Delica from the first season or the second season or something. The original Transformers were actually relicensed Japanese toys. And Transformers is an American show. So like an American company was like at a Japanese toy fair picking out toys that they can sell in North America and found the Transformers and then decided to make a TV show to help sell the toys. And half the Transformers were cars and half of them were little guns and stuff. That's why the Decepticons were guns and things like that. So anyway, this is a Delica review, not a Transformer review. But yeah, it definitely has that 80s boxy look to it. And the... Get out of here. The 80s look is something you don't see on the road. Or you want something that is unique and cool. This is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 seater. Inside, plenty of room for camping or lifestyle type things. 4-wheel drive. This is a high roof. The high roof one is the more common of the two and gives you 10 centimeters extra headroom. Cool vehicle. I like them a lot. And yeah, 2.5 liter turbo diesel. North America doesn't have any small diesels really, other than like the old Volkswagens that people adore. Okay, details. So, not mentioned on the auction sheet. This is weird to have so many fade things not mentioned. Fade things like this. Okay, it's clearly the black is faded in a lot of areas. The windshield wipers as well. Fog lights have a lot of surface rust on them. They basically need to be replaced. This one's all shaky. Okay, fade on this, which is weird because you can see the original color. That's not actually scuff. It doesn't feel like anything. But like the original color has been kind of scuffed onto it, if that makes sense. Like, maybe I'm not speaking properly. But usually a scuff you'll be able to feel. This one you can't feel any of that black mark because it's just a change in the color there. And you can get all of it back to the same color if you use a product similar to Back to Black or Trim Brightener. This is actually a Jasper model. The seller didn't say. The Jasper model is the cold weather package, and I intend to drive in mud version. The interior is made out of a heavier duty material that hides dirt better. You get the dual battery, and I suspect there are a few other things like trim and stickers, and seats are a different pattern as well, meant to hide the dirt. Let me just give you a quick little look here. So it is a higher end model than the regular version, but it's not particularly rare. It's fairly easy to find. And I don't think most buyers of the Delica are going to target just the Jasper or just the Chamonix version. Maybe they do, but I don't think they do that often. A little bit of fade around the 4-wheel drive mark there. Has the projector headlights like most of them have. There are also sealed beam style headlights that you can get on some of the earlier ones. Now this is kind of the biggest complaint that I have about the car. You see how it's a two-tone, like a forest green and silver? Almost all of the silver has faded. And it has faded in this 1980s, 1990s silver way that you see like Mercedes-Benz, Toyota Town Aces do this, Delicas do it. And it was like a flaw of early metallic paints. And it starts to look like it's heavily scratched, but it's just a breakdown of the clear coat from UV damage, and it's on basically all of the panels. Not so much here,
but still a little bit, especially around the edges here. And then you can see here, it looks like plenty of micro scratches, and sometimes it shows up a lot if the sun shines on it properly, and sometimes it doesn't. It depends on the angle that you're at and all sorts of things like that. See, like you probably can't see it too much there, but then when you come up, it's much more visible. The only way to get rid of it, sadly, is to repaint it. It doesn't stand out a lot, especially if you're not up close, but as soon as you are up close, you can see it quite easily. Okay, now the plastic has also faded to a different color. Originally, this plastic and this metal are the same color, but over time, paints change color. It's just the fact of the paints changing color. And it used to have a Jasper sticker on here. You can kind of make out the Jasper. And yeah, it's faded at different rates. What was behind the sticker is darker than what is above the sticker. And then there are a few scratchy marks here and some more on the other side. Got some pretty nasty fade up there, and the same thing goes on the other. I don't know why, but this is made out of plastic, whereas everything else is metal. And they tend to fade faster as a result. And you'll know this if you've seen a lot of older cars. Anything that's plastic is more likely to fade before anything that's metal. That's why spoilers and door mirrors and side skirts and bumpers and things like that tend to not completely match in colors. The tint is a little bit damaged there. There's some sun damage on this back mirror. This is a mirror on the other side. And these mirrors are fantastic. It's like the old version of a reverse camera, but it's actually much more usable, in my opinion. A reverse camera, it can be difficult to tell exactly how far you are away from something. This one here, you look through your rear view mirror and you look at this, and then it gives you a straight shot down to see how far you are away from whatever you're backing up against. So some fade here and here, and then that same scratchy looking fade here. Now scratch and dent wise, the rest of the car, as you can see, like look down here, is looking pretty clean and good. Nice reflection there. You can see our car. Looks like the whole version of the car, just a narrow version of it. I'm tiny. Okay, the tires are a 5-year-old tire, and this area here has several scratches, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're all little scratches, but they show up a lot because they're all grouped together. Okay, again with the fade along here and the discoloration, a few chips on the edge of the door. We're going to point out any of the damages that we see. Sometimes when people watch these videos, they think, wow, that car is pretty bad condition, but the point of the video is to showcase anything that is not brand new. And after 30 years, a lot of things are not brand new. If you look at the vehicle as a whole, it can actually be pretty good. But then if you start nitpicking and showing all of the little areas of damage, it can look worse as a result. We get a lot of people once they see the vehicle saying, I thought the vehicle was way worse when I saw your report, but when it came in, it looked fine. Or it looked much better than I expected. Do keep that in mind. Anyway, the Jasper version gets this. It's kind of like a softer touch material, but it's kind of worn out. Looks like they rested their arm right here. And then because it's made of like a velour material, it kind of looks weirdly, like the colors look different when it starts to wear out. Anyway, common on the Delica, you lose paint here when people slide out of their seat. Over many times, the paint just goes away. Same things happens here with the pants. Okay, the seat itself is pretty good. I believe these to be more robust of a seat. The Jasper ones tend to take a little bit more damage before they start to rip from what I've seen. I don't know if it just is circumstance, but it seems to be the case. Okay, back door lock, a rear fan, fog lights, and rear defroster. Fairly clean in here. See, I don't know why they give it a B exterior, but then a C interior. Okay, jump up. E-brake works. Shifting is good. Throttle is a little bit unresponsive, so needs a little bit of a run-in, especially with some injector cleaner. It's very healthy for diesels to do that. Has a field gauge here, which is cool. You can see your pitch and your roll and your altimeter. Great for expeditions. Not like everyone who had a Delica was doing expeditions, but just knowing that you can was exciting enough to sell the vehicle. Old school tape deck. Here's something I didn't know that you can get until I had to get one for myself. You can get a tape that's Bluetooth compatible, so you can sync your phone through Bluetooth on a tape that you stick in there and then run through the stereo. So no longer do you need to change out these classic, very cool tape decks of older cars if you want to listen to good music. You couldn't do that until streaming became a big thing, but I think that's incredibly cool. Okay, it has a little bit of a smell, maybe of cigarettes. The previous owner, I don't think, was a smoker. There are marks of cigarettes having been smoked in it, but not recently. So it's not something I would worry about if it were my car. I'm pretty sensitive about that too. Like, I don't want to drive in a car that's been smoked in, and sadly a lot of cars in Japan have been. Oh, headliner is a different headliner too for the Jasper version. You get this kind of patterned headliner, and it's a little dirty from the cigarettes. Actually, quite dirty from the cigarettes. Anytime you see a dirty headliner on the auction report, it usually means the car's been smoked in. And Delicas tend to be like 80% of them smoked in. There's certain cars that smokers tend to gravitate towards. Delica's one of them. Land Cruiser's another one like that. Legacies are as well. Fits aren't. Miatas, they can be either one. JZX90s, often smokers. Celicas, often smokers. Sports cars and 4x4s tend to have a lot of smokers, unfortunately. Okay, got a little bit of a stain here, and continuing down there, it looks like a coffee stain should come up fairly easily. This one has there are two different versions of the seat. This is the bench seat version, and then this one's a flip down seat. You can flip it down and then the back comes up. And so, two seats here. I think these, not on this model. Some of them rotate. But it looks like this one can fold down and then fold forward if you need more space. Same thing can happen with this one. Okay. Headliner, yeah, pretty dirty. All the seats say Jasper on them, which is pretty cool. I guess they named them after ski hills, didn't they? Chamonix and Jasper. And a weird little cushion thingy. Quick step up, and yeah, the floor is pretty high on this. It's quite the step up, so kids can feel important being up higher than everyone else. And ground clearance for your 4x4ing. Okay. And a handle here for ease of getting in and out of the vehicle. The back seats, let me just check. Yes, these ones are on rails, so you can push the back seats forward to give yourself a little bit more trunk space. At the moment, decent amount, but if you need baggage in here, you can flip it down. It looks like it's 70-30 more than it is 60-40, so you can fold just this one down or fold these ones down or all of them. And I believe it double flips, like you can fold down and then the whole thing can go forward as well. Okay, quick look over there. We're basically done the review now. Overall, it needs some work. Pretty much anything that's 30 years old as a car is going to need some work. But this is definitely a nice solid vehicle underneath. Could use a little bit of paint, but if you don't care about the looks, you can definitely just drive these. They're known to be reliable. Parts are easily accessible, and it's a turbo diesel. They're pretty simple and easy for anyone to repair. Anyway, that's all for this one. If you have any questions, please let me know. Hope you enjoyed the review. Thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day.